So there was no reason for you to not believe me.
An explanation coming from maybe a professional, that knows the brains and how we deal with things like that. But for me, I had something happened to me that I was like, whoa, I didn't know what to do.
Because you knew you would have to marry me.
Could be that
You
your
knew that
life is changing for
you
real
knew
now.
that would be the end of
My freedom.
maybe that was
I don't
it.
know.
Hello, dance lovers.
I'm Junior.
I'm Ana. We are the Brazilian couple.
And this is Dance is the Answer podcast.
Yes, it is.
Episode 3.
And this is the third time we're trying to do this episode.
So, okay, let's start by saying what happened yesterday and today.
Okay.
So we know what we're going to talk about today. I mean, we do a little brainstorm.
Which is going to be from dance partners
To
to
live
live
partners.
partners.
So usually we talk about the title so we don't get lost, even though we go places. But what happened was the first time we tried to shoot this was yesterday. And we filmed the whole video. It was like 55, 60 minutes, right? And then when we finished, we were like, wow, that was so good. Mm-hmm. And then I looked down the recorder.
No, the first time was the camera. The camera
Oh,
stopped recording after 30 minutes of
Right.
the podcast. So we
So
find out that this camera that we own
Mm-hmm.
cannot record more than 30 minutes, which is really interesting because Junior did some research. The camera is really good, but because of taxes...
Because of taxes, it's supposed to be only 30 minutes. So it's not like a film or a TV camera.
So that would bring the camera for what, 3 times
The price.
The price.
So what happened was I did a little research, not so deep. So I bought a new camera thinking that, okay, this is going to be fine. This is the newest
No, that was the
camera.
newest, baby.
I know, it was the newest camera.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fine. It's going to be up to 3 hours or something. Same thing,
It
30 minutes.
stopped in 30 minutes.
So what happened was we filmed. We thought everything was fine. We didn't have the whole episode filmed. And then today, an hour ago, we're good, feeling good. Let's do this. Actually, it was a really good episode.
Yeah, well, we have to do it again.
When we finished, what happened? I didn't press rec on recording on the recording device for the microphones.
audio. Yeah.
And it
So
was
I
actually...
I took a walk with Julie,
Right.
and we're gonna shake it off,
Reset.
reset,
Because
and
we're
talk
like, let's
about
not do this
everything.
any other day because it's supposed to be today. It's
Well,
meant to...
if you say so, unless
meant to be
anything
today.
goes wrong.
I think everything is fine around here. So
If anything goes wrong this time around, we're just not gonna do this episode, and we're gonna skip this
this title,
subject.
this subject. Oh wow! So let's go. Let's make it happen.
Okay.
First of all, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm very good.
I was more excited the first time around.
No, come on. We gotta keep excited.
I know, it's okay. I'll get there.
Okay. So today we're gonna talk about how we first kissed.
No, we already
On
said
stage.
that. Baby, we already said that. You're so confused.
Am I?
You are.
Because the thing is, we already
Baby.
talk about this, so I'm already like moving on. So
Baby, we already said that.
okay.
Exactly.
So
you
we
don't
were
have to repeat
we
that.
were on stage.
We finished the last episode talking about
About the
our first
kiss.
kiss on stage, correct?
Right.
And now we have to talk about how from dance partners we became life partners, which wasn't that day.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that day. It took forever.
No,
happen.
it took 3 years after that day.
Yeah, 3 years.
Yes.
Yeah, it felt like a lifetime.
Maybe 2.5 years.
All right. So like I said before, we were dancing all the ballets together because of our height, because we got matched by the director.
Mm-hmm.
There were no dating websites or anything like. Maybe there was, right? I don't know. I think those
don't
existed
think
forever.
So. There was not even a cell phone back then.
Right. I didn't have a cell phone. Everything that
So how come there would be an app, babe?
not an app, but I think there were dating sites back then.
Okay,
For
but
people
we
that
didn't
had,
stay together.
I know, but I'm
Until
well.
later.
I'm gonna make a point now. I'm getting to my point,
Okay, so go ahead.
which is, I was trying everything I could in order to impress you, so you could go out with me. And I remember one time I was like, Anna, do you want to go to the theater with me, to the movies? And I got very excited about it, and you said yes, and then you end up you couldn't go, something like that.
Me?
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
I remember.
I remember you always ask me out on a Friday, and Friday used to be the day that I teach.
Right.
So after our time with the company, I would go to the bairro, the town that I lived,
Right.
and I used to teach.
The neighborhood.
Yeah, my neighborhood, and I used to teach there like 3 classes on a Friday. So I could never go.
Right. Yeah. So I tried many times to get together with you. You'd always find an excuse. I guess because you were like a little bit afraid of any relationship or anything like that.
No, yes and no. Yeah, I wasn't. I didn't want to. I didn't want to. I was. So that happened after my year hiatus of dancing. So when I went back dancing, that was my love. That was my passion. That I had a lot to catch up, and I was working on that. I was focused, and
Yeah.
you
I
know.
remember that you were very professional for such a young age. You were like a, but it's funny because the first time I kind of had one of my dreams were like, one of my goals were to kiss you, right? Not my dream. It wasn't my dream, although it was. It was to kiss you, but we were dancing Sleeping Beauty. And then we end up dancing Sleeping Beauty again later on.
Yes.
We were traveling.
No, it was the same. Yeah, it was that same year.
Right.
We had this one performance in our town, in the capital, and then we had a tour that we danced in a very weird party that
Right. It was like a barbecue fest or something.
it felt like we were completely out of nowhere. This
Right.
group of dancers arrived.
Yeah,
this
but what happened
party.
was the problem wasn't the place. The problem, we went out with a friend. You had some extra drinks that night, and then the day we had to perform, which was the next day, you were completely hangover.
I was hangover and I was almost passing out. I don't know how that happened, and I
Right.
still cannot. No,
No, I know.
seriously.
I get it. Yeah.
You know me.
No, of course. No,
Even
coming
though I
from
was
you, it doesn't. It's
19.
not who you are. I know.
Even if I was 19, I had even the year that I wasn't dancing, I got like that. That's how bad it was.
Right.
So, and I would never drink that much, or at least drink. I mean, I obviously drink a lot, but it was weird. It felt like, it didn't felt like me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe they mixed something in my drink.
It could
maybe
be. It could be.
It was very weird because, especially on a show, like the next day I would have 2 shows.
2 performances. Yeah.
And I knew I had to travel with the bus, and
It was like a demanding dance.
and
You're on
and we were
point.
the principal role. Like I
Right.
would never do that in a normal.
But it's okay. I was there for you, so that's what I'm saying.
But but I have to say that because that's not
Who you are.
That's not my.
Right.
Yes, something happened that night, which
Yeah.
I still don't know what it was, but I end up like
Really sick.
really sick from drinking. I mean, it
How
wasn't-
many drinks you had that night?
No one put the drink in my mouth, but something happened to me that
Something
day
was
that
off.
made me
Yeah.
do more and more tequila shots, which
How many you did?
well, that's the thing. I remember my first one. I don't remember anything else.
Are you serious?
I just remember then vomiting the place like everywhere. And I remember flashes of it.
Wow.
I don't remember. Yeah, for me it was like 5 minutes. I was already gone.
Wow, that's crazy, Anna.
Like I don't really know how long that took. And I went to my friend's house. I was sleeping over, and it was a tough night. I passed out, and then the next day, early in the morning, we had to meet with a tour bus
Right.
to do those shows. And I
Well,
remember
I
my
thought you-
mom.
I thought-
I remember I told my mom. I called my mom. I'm not good. I'm sick. I need you to bring something. And then she brought 2 Gatorades. Like
That's sweet.
I could totally buy that, but I don't know. You know. Anyways,
Yeah, no, when I
and
first saw you, you were fine.
I couldn't eat.
But when we started the dance, that's how I felt. Like, oh, she's off.
Oh, you didn't see my face? I was like white as a paper.
I started to pay attention when we were dancing. Then I was like, oh, she's not doing fine. I think you told me like, oh, I'm not feeling that well.
Did
I was
I
like,
tell
oh,
you?
sure.
I was like almost fainting
Yeah.
throughout the whole day
No,
because
you
I didn't eat.
couldn't
because
stay on
I
your
was
point shoes,
Super
like
nauseous. I couldn't eat, and I knew I had to travel. I didn't want to be nauseous in the bus.
Right.
You know, like, and I was ashamed. It was
Oh,
such
don't
a
worry.
hard day.
I was there. That's what I'm saying. I was there for you.
Yeah,
I
but
carried you
were,
throughout the whole thing, but I was mad.
you were so angry.
I was mad. You know why?
I know.
Because it was a special moment for us as partner. Like performing that ballet.
Baby, I feel so guilty about that day because
Don't worry, it's all good.
that can come back.
That's like what? 20 years ago.
I know, but it's still like that.
Right.
That's not me. That
I know.
was so weird.
We all been there where we not represent our best versions. So it's all good.
Like I could do that any other night. I would never do that the night before.
Right.
Like it was really weird.
But
It was really
anyways,
weird.
I was there for you. We danced that afternoon, and then we had a show at the theater.
Yeah, but can we talk
at
about
night.
where we danced though? Because I was just talking about that.
Right. We danced at this place where there was like a bunch of dudes drinking beer, a bunch of people eating meat.
It was like a party.
It was a party
It was a
place.
celebration of some sort. And they were not amused by the ballerinas and
my
ballet
God.
dancers that
And
came.
I was wearing, the guys were wearing, I was wearing for the party the white ties.
I know.
So imagine me wearing a white tied dance belt in front of
and
dudes
I
drinking
was
beer.
wearing a choo-choo. Imagine me, pink ties and a choo-choo, which is
Right, but I
Actually-
guess people would stare at you, but
it's
not
so
making
funny.
jokes.
That's so. We used to do a lot of those performances in the company that we were.
Right.
It was part of the deal. But to be completely honest, there's not the like there's a reason why the stage exists, and those costumes
right.
should be on stage. Not you cannot see
During
that
the day, daylight, no.
daylight and up
For sure.
on the clothes.
There are places for everything,
It takes
you're right.
The whole magic of it, and you see things that you're not supposed to see. You know, there are certain dances that we did on those places. Okay, it matched. It was fun. It was like
Yeah.
more modern and stuff. But you can fit. But like
But not a classical ballet. Yeah.
it was really really misplaced. And yeah, and then we travel, and then at night it was
Yeah.
at the theater.
It was nice. And you were already better. So
It didn't felt good.
So
at all.
I guess for us it took us a long time performing as a dance couple.
Oh, you mean like real couple?
No, as a dance couple.
Oh, what do you
Like,
mean a long time?
Dance partners, like not a real life couple.
We started dancing together right away.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying like we had an experience as dance partners 1st. Then we started dating.
Oh, correct.
It took us a long time for that to happen. So we kind of like learn how to deal with each other in the dance
Yeah.
environment.
Yeah.
And then like what, 3 years after that?
3
We
years
went-
after that, we were officially dating.
But when did you finally like, all right, Junior?
But we
Because the
kinda-
thing is, I've been trying to get a hold of you. That's the
Way
nice way.
before when,
That's a
yes.
nice way to put it. But like,
Hold on.
I've been into you since the day I met you, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first day I met you. And then every opportunity I had, I was like always talking to you or inviting you to places, or you know, you were like at some point like rolling your eyes to me, like okay, like
Because, yeah, because I wasn't in that page.
Right.
I didn't want to, and it wasn't a relationship with you only. I didn't want a relationship,
yeah,
like, period.
right,
You know, I had my interest in other things. Like, I didn't mind, like, going out with other people, but
Right.
I knew that you had such feelings for me.
I remember-
So I didn't want to go out with you because that would feed your feelings without me feeling the same way.
You know what happened once we went to a concert. I went to a concert with our friend Flavia.
Yeah, I mean,
Not with her, but I was there and she was there, and we were like hanging out together.
you
No.
almost said something else.
I was going to say hooking up, but no, we never hooked up. We never happened.
Okay.
And then I saw you,
I remember that.
You remember that day?
I was with my school friends. Yeah.
and I was like so excited to see you that day. You could see that.
No, really. I didn't
Oh,
felt
no,
that.
You don't read it. You don't know how to read me.
Baby, I felt like that day was one of the few days that I didn't felt like you were
On you.
in
That
on
by
me.
that time I was acting cool already. I
Because
was like, I
it
learned the
was really
lesson.
Fast. No, it was really fast. Like, I remember you were with Danielle actually.
Oh, he was there too.
So that I don't remember Flavia there, but I remember I was with my friends and we just crossed
Right.
paths,
Yeah.
and I was like, hi, and you were like, oh, hi, and you kept going, like we didn't even
Yeah,
stop
but and I remember I
and
said
then
to
I said,
Danielle,
oh, okay.
I said to Daniel, I said like, I love this girl. I remember,
But you
not,
didn't
I
even-
didn't say love, but I said like,
You probably say love.
yeah, like in the American way of saying, oh, I love this girl, like like I really like her. Because I love in Brazil is like you really love. Did you ever notice the difference?
Yes, I know.
Oh, I love this guy. It means like I like this guy.
No, yeah.
In Brazil, you say
depends
eu
on
amo,
the
eu amo essa
intonation.
menina. It's like I love her.
No, if you're saying that, like I can say I love without meaning.
Anyways, I told him I love this girl, and then you left, and then I remember being there and everything was
You
fun.
laughed.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I was
I- if you wouldn't, I would. But anyway,
So I remember being like this, kind of looking for you. It's so crazy. Oh, you could have me like back then, like easy. So, anyways, when was the first time you kind of like, okay, I think I see something there.
Oh, okay. So the on the place that we traveled to, one of our tours,
Right.
you actually had a play. You were doing a dance instructor in the play.
Right. I was a dance instructor.
And
yeah.
I remember you were working on your lines and everything. And
You
I
used to read
remember-
that with me?
Yeah, because it was after our rehearsal, and
You never thought you would be an actress, become an actress either.
yeah, it wasn't in my mind back then.
How cool is that, huh?
But I was like running lines with you, and then you invited me to watch the play,
Right.
and it was on a Friday.
And that
Hello
night we were supposed to go on a
again.
trip.
Yes, so it wasn't a Friday, but that night I wasn't teaching because we would go to travel with the company. So I said, okay, yeah, we go. By we, I said my mom and I.
Yeah.
And then we watched the play. It was really cool. And then I kind of saw you in a different light, like not in the
The
ballet,
ballet. I was
world.
like a person on stage.
Yeah, you were like doing something different that
Right.
I wasn't doing. Like I saw you in a different world.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that made me look to you differently. And also you're on stage, and you're always good looking on stage. I already said that last episode.
That's gonna be like my go-to.
So
I look good on stage,
You know you do.
baby. I look weird with the long hair back then. I was like a weirdo.
Baby. Oh, come on. You don't really mean that.
I was, no?
No.
That's
Baby,
why I
you're
cut
just
everything.
saying that, so I keep talking that you're beautiful. I know you.
I'm not trying to do that. Don't worry.
I know you. So then I think watching you in that scene, in that whole new
Scenario.
world scenario,
Yeah.
it was attractive to me.
Okay.
And then, so then we ate, my mom left.
It's funny because that stage is the same stage we danced. That's
Yeah.
our theater.
Yeah.
And I was doing the play there.
Yeah.
So
the same theater.
every trip we would have with the company, we would meet there at the theater
It
entrance.
it was our point
Our-
to
our-
stop
yeah, our
to
meeting
wait for
point.
the bus, meeting point, yes.
Wow. Isn't that crazy? And then that night, everybody was there. I finished the play. You just went to the bus, straight
Yeah,
to the bus.
I waited there because it was our meeting point. You live nearby. You went
I
home.
went home, I took a shower and came back, yeah.
Yeah, but and then in that trip we talked a lot. I feel like the whole way we were talking, and
Yeah.
of course I was talking about the play, and you were super excited because you just finished the play. Like the
Right.
adrenaline was high, and it was it's fun. And then I feel like, I mean, I didn't feel that's what happened. That
Right.
trip, I was like,
That's
I think I'm
I
gonna kiss
was-
this guy.
you thought of that?
Maybe, I don't know.
You're
but that happened.
You for the first time you were like on it. I mean, available to me, and I was like, "Am I really reading her in the wrong way or something?" But anyways, and then I told you that I was dating.
So you didn't say you were dating.
I said I was with a girl,
You said you were starting to like this girl.
right?
And you told me her name and how she would call
I
you.
told her name.
I
I don't remember her name.
think
Yeah, who cares?
maybe
mean,
not.
yeah.
I think you would say like how she would call you on the phone and things like that. She say hi, Ju.
Oh, remember that?
See, Julie.
Sorry, I scream here. Oh, that's so much fun. But then I told you about her, and then
Sorry for Julie's bar.
for a second I thought that you were
What?
like that turn you won in a way. You're like, oh. And I was
No, it was no. You could tell me anything that
like, oh, so that was.
You could
oh,
tell
I get it now.
me-
That
you
was the
could
magic
tell me
from
that-
me on stage.
I guess.
Anything I would say, it would be fine with you.
I mean, I feel like even from the moment I accepted to go to your play, I was already feeling something.
Right.
Because
no, we
otherwise,
were-
I wouldn't go.
But I think what started with us was like we became friends in the first place.
Yeah.
By dancing together, being there for each other. Because, it takes a lot to be partner, to be a dance partner.
Mm-hmm.
We've met some people that don't like each other as dance partners. But we kind of like,
Julie's
Julie's
smelling
like-
the camera.
she's the director.
She's gonna be the one not making this episode happen.
very soon she's going to be barking.
Okay.
So, what was I saying?
You were saying that.
No, I was saying
What
that,
turned me on was to see you on stage.
No,
Oh,
not that.
because we were friends before dancing.
yeah, I feel like we, as partner, dance partner, we need to be there for each other, right? Like,
Yeah.
either you like each other or not, you have to be there for each other.
Yeah.
But that, not only that happened, but I liked you.
Yeah.
So I was always too nice to you, always like there for you and everything.
Yeah. Funny how that changed after we got married.
Oh. I'm super nice. Come on.
You are, but you're
Sometimes I
nicer
can be-
with someone that you're not married
Babe,
to.
we should not compare you to anybody. If I'm nicer to a different partner, it means I'm not that close to the person. I need to be super nice.
I know, but
With you,
kind
I know you.
of, yeah,
I'm
we're
nice,
too
but sometimes it's like I can say things I want to say, right? Not hurting you, but I can be a little. I don't have to think twice. I mean, I do have.
You
I know.
should, yes.
Anyways. Anyways.
This is before that. So,
Yeah. So that night, not that night, but maybe that night we travel. So maybe
travel-
that
the
weekend,
the next day, yeah.
we all went out because we had that day off, right? We travel. We have that night off.
I
We
don't
didn't
know,
have
we
a
probably
show.
Danced. I don't know. We just rehearsed. I don't know.
Maybe after the
It's-
show or
yeah.
something. We went out, all of the people in the company. I mean, the party people in the company,
Which was everybody.
which was everybody, right? And then at the very end of the night, the end of the night, we were going back to the hotel, walking, and then we're kind of like, I remember like being like, and you're like laughing, and then, I don't know how to say that in English, but we're like flirting,
Yeah.
giggling,
Yeah.
and then
And then you start to walk slower than everybody.
very slow, and you stay with me, and I was kind of like nervous.
Did I hold your hand to walk slowly or just walk slowly?
I think I was all over you with my hands. I mean, not all over, but like I was already like hugging you. And
Yeah.
anyways, we don't have to go that deep, but that was our first kiss.
Yeah, we kissed right there on the street.
And I started screaming,
You did.
"I'm kissing Ana Luisa, Luisa."
Yes.
And you were like laughing.
Yeah.
And it was like a beautiful night. We kissed, it was good.
Yeah.
And then we went back. People were hanging out in front of the hotel and this and that. And you just went. You disappeared.
No, I went to my room to
Yeah, of
sleep. 'Cause
course.
the next day we had
Of
a
course.
show.
Yeah.
That's why we were traveling.
Yeah. And the next day, I remember going to your hotel room. And I asked for the girls, because we all have roommates, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I asked them, "Hey, can you call Anna for me, please?" And then you came in, you're like, "Hey." I was like, and you were different already.
Cold.
And I was like, "Hi, do you want to hang out? Do you want to go outside, grab something?" And you're like, "Oh, no, I'm going to rest because of the show tonight."
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to act cool. And I was like, oh, sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll see you tonight. And then I was like, wow, she's a different person now. I got a little bit like upset.
Do you understand why I did that though?
Now I understand. Back then I was like, what a...
Yeah.
I was mad at you.
Why did I do that?
Do you want me to answer that? I guess because you were afraid of relationship. You know that was leading to a place where you were not sure if you were ready for it or not.
Yeah, I was definitely not looking for a relationship. And like I said, I knew you liked me
Right.
like for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to give you the illusion that we would start dating, and this would be a relationship. Like it was, yeah, I wasn't ready. I wasn't looking for it. I like the night before and I like to kiss you, but I knew that if we do that over and over and over again,
It's going to become a thing.
No, not become a thing. It would be harder for you to understand that I wasn't ready. It
Yeah.
was like I didn't want to get involved
Right.
so deep.
So the night after, we went out again.
Yeah.
And then slowly, during the day you were
We
all
danced
serious.
for her.
We danced for her. You were so serious during the day. You're very, you're cool to me, but like very professional.
Mm-hmm.
And then at night you're like Sleepy Beauty, Cinderella. you're turning to a different Anna. And then you would be like a more like approachable and cool. And I was like,
Because
oh.
after I did my job, then
Yeah.
I can have fun, work
Yes.
hard, play hard.
And then slowly, and then everybody in the company was like, oh, look at that. Like people were already like, oh, it's happening.
Yeah.
And it was cool. It was good times.
And then also that was another thing. Like the more people will know that, the more serious
Yeah,
it will get,
I remember.
even without us.
You were not ready for that.
wanting. Yes, I would stay together with you, not together, but like hooking up
Right.
with you on those trips with the
Right.
company. But when we go back to our home base, I would stop. I would lie to you saying I had another relationship, which all lies. I never had it.
Mm-hmm.
I never had a boyfriend before you.
Right.
I kissed other guys, but I never brought anyone home.
Right.
Like nothing, So that was like that for a while.
Yes, we were like that for a little bit. And then every now and then you would break up with me.
Not breaking up. That's
But yeah.
See, there's the thing. We never were
Work
in
together.
a relationship.
Right.
It was always a hookup and stop, hookup and
Right.
stop, hookup and stop.
Yeah. And then at some point, everything changed.
See how funny? Because I also no in that trip,
Right.
I don't know. I really don't know what was the reason, but it was another trip to join Vili, right?
Mm-hmm.
And and you that trip you had a girlfriend, I think, or no?
Which
That
one?
gave you Zé.
Oh, yeah, no, it wasn't a girlfriend.
No, okay,
She was my friend.
that makes me feel better. I mean, it was a girlfriend, but you weren't taking so serious.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And I remember that trip. It was kind of the same
Yeah.
way I was, but I wasn't now
Interested in me.
trying to hide anymore. Like
Right.
I was like, I'm. And then I saw you on stage dancing with someone else.
Right.
Because for that trip we didn't dance together.
No, we did not. And you did my hair. I remember that trip.
Yes, I did a variation only. It was a competition.
Right.
And you
I did the pas de deux.
with a pas de deux with
Paquita.
another girl. Yeah. And that again I saw you from the outside.
Right.
And then I was all in love again.
You
I
see?
think all you needed to do is for me to watch
I need to
it.
perform more often to you.
I think that was the secret. I think I saw you dancing and I fell in love with it.
Wow.
Dancing or acting or on stage in general. So yeah.
And
I
then we're
think that
gonna
was
fast
it.
forward that part.
But yeah, I did your hair. I did you used to have long hair
Yeah.
and I put your hair in a bun.
You did. I used to dance in a ponytail, and then you're like, no, you have to do a bun for the competition.
Yeah.
And then you did it for me.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And then on that trip I was so in love with you.
I remember that. I was
And then you were scared.
I was scared. That's the
'Cause
thing.
I went full
Everything
on.
switched
Yeah.
because I got scared. I was like, wait, I dreamed of that for so long. I was trying so hard for years and years. Now she's available. Like, no, something's wrong. I that's not what happened. I didn't tell myself like, oh, something's wrong, but I was like, something in my mind was like made me so scared of it.
Yeah, I know. I
Because I
remember.
was like,
And
I
then
don't know.
you were weird. In
I
the last
was.
day of the trip,
I was
remember you left before me. You had another trip with your show band, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
and I went to say bye to you at the
yeah.
bus place. How do
Right.
I say that? Anyways, and
The station, yeah.
bus station, yes. And you were so weird.
I know. It was cold, right?
You were super cold, super weird. I never saw you that weird. Not even when I was hangover
Wow.
dancing with you. You were like, I don't know. It was
But
like,
we're not gonna talk about that. But there was a reason why, and you know that reason.
no, no. We're not gonna talk about that, and
No, because we're gonna end up fighting. I don't want to fight
I
here.
don't want to fight either. But your excuse is so bad
So-
that it's
so-
not even worth it.
So I'm gonna tell my side of the story.
No,
really
no,
fast.
I don't wanna fight.
No, and they're gonna see in
Every
your eyes
time-
that you don't agree, and that's it.
Every time we talk about these, we end up fighting or arguing.
Anyways, I wasn't ready because I was a coward, but that wasn't reason. I couldn't control my cowardness because I was supposed to. In my mind, I was supposed to be. I planned to be with someone else because I didn't. In my mind, I was like, I'm not gonna be suffering anymore. So I need to make a decision to be with someone that likes me.
Yes. Okay. We always talk about that. I was as clear as water.
No, you were at that time. It was
No,
new for me.
before as well. I always told you that I didn't have the same feelings for you.
Right? No, I knew that.
So, and
And that's
then
why-
when I started to having feelings for you, I was
You know when
also
something good's about to
clear.
happen to you, and then other things come your way, and you don't know how to deal with things.
There was
me.
no such a thing of other things.
Anyways, baby, we end up together.
You could, anyways. That's right. Anyways, because you never gonna win this.
I don't want to win. I don't want to win with this. It was like a waste of time in a way, but it was part of our
It was
life.
not part of nothing.
It was
part
a
of
learning
you.
experience.
Well,
It gave you time to understand if
I
you want to stay with me or
disagree.
not.
come on. I knew from the baby. That's the thing. one thing I was always truthful to my feelings.
Right.
Always. And I was always verbal to you about it.
Mm-hmm.
I never led you to think that I was liking you or having feelings for you the same way before I actually had it.
Right.
And then when I was in love with you, I said, I am in love with you, with those words
Right.
in Portuguese, though.
Well, that must be
So there was no reason for you to not believe me.
an explanation coming from maybe a professional, like that knows the brains and how we deal with things like that. But for me, I had like something happened to me that I was like, no, I didn't know what to do.
Because you knew you would have to marry me.
Could be that like
You
oh
knew
your
that
life is changing for
you
real
knew that
now
would be the end of
of my freedom.
maybe that was
I don't
it.
know. Could be. I don't know. No, you see, I can't name what it
Maybe
was.
that's what it was.
It was a bunch of things.
I like to think that what it was because you knew like from that point on you would be with me and then that was it.
Yeah.
No more girls
So
allowed.
what happened after that?
I say without talking to you.
You didn't talk to me for a long time,
almost like 6 months, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
and then slowly we're like, let's cut this BS and just
So can I just
Work
say
things
how
through.
hard it was, at least for me, I was angry at you when I was heartbroken and I still
But
had
let's just
to,
say something. I didn't cheat on you.
no,
That was not the thing.
There was
Okay.
no relationship between
There was no
us.
relationship, yeah.
And I wanted to be in a relationship and then you
I
stepped
needed
back.
to make a decision, and I made the decision
stepped back.
because I was afraid.
You stepped back and I was, what the heck? Here's the guy that are trying to be with me for so many years. And then when I
Right.
finally say, let's be together, he goes like, uh-oh, just kidding.
And
He wasn't like
and
that.
in your way, it was like that. For me, it was more like, "Hey, I'm ready now." Oh, okay. That doesn't work like that
Why not?
because
Did you
it
like me
didn't.
then?
No, I just say like it didn't.
Did you stop liking
no,
me?
I continue to
So
like
that's
you.
it. You could be so much easier.
But I
anyway,
was-
we're still talking about that. What I
Right.
was going to say is, see, I forgot.
All right.
You
so,
made me forget.
So we didn't talk for 6 months.
Oh, so it was
You're so
really
mad at me.
hard. It was really hard to still have to dance with you because we're still dance partners.
Mm-hmm.
But I was hurt.
Right.
And I told myself I would not speak to you until I was over my feelings, over
Remember
you.
that.
And how can someone be over someone else if they kept seeing each other 5 days a week, working together,
Yeah.
dancing together, you know, and you have to portray all these loving people that likes each other when you
Right.
dance in the ballet stories and repertoires. So it was really hard to get over you.
Yeah.
And I didn't. So after 6 months, I was like, okay, I just give up.
And it slowly, I was like making some moves. And then we're kind of like, all right, that's it. Let's stop this. Let's just make it happen.
So then we had a second first kiss, which was on the sea, on the ocean.
Right. I forgot that.
That was
right.
the first kiss after the 6 months of madness.
Right.
Madness.
The 6 months he ate us. He ate us.
Yes. And that was, I love that kiss better than the first one, I think.
Really?
I think I do because then I was really feeling
Mm-hmm.
the same feelings. Maybe that's why. Like I remember at that moment, just everything froze. Everything froze. There was a lot of people around us, and we were playing They were playing the sand. We were in the ocean. Like you know, we were all happy. And then for I don't know how long it felt like a long time. Maybe
Right.
it wasn't that long, but it felt like everything froze.
You were like
And I saw
soft
you.
as you could be in my arms. You were like
and I
for a
saw-
second you were like a loose.
Yeah. And we were like getting closer and closer in the ocean. It was like, oh, it was like a slow motion. Yeah, it totally
It's a
felt
magic-
like that.
magic
How
moment.
funny! I can.
I remember that was good.
If I could describe the feeling, but I can still feel the feelings. It's so
Yeah.
funny. I like that feeling.
And that's when we
I like
started.
that feeling better than the other one.
Of course, we work for better feelings in life, and then that's when we started dating.
That's when we started dating.
That's
for
when you
real.
like
that.
you stopped everything that you used to do before, like not holding hands and let's not do
Oh
this
no!
here.
Oh
you're
my
like,
gosh!
I'm on it.
I draw your name in the sand. I was like, I
You're
was
on
so
it.
cheesy.
You were, we were.
I was so cheesy. I saved the paper of the candy to give you, like things
Right.
like that, cheesy. Or you did that to me.
We went through the whole thing. We did
Yeah,
the
the
whole thing.
whole face of it was really
It was cute.
And
And
then we
then-
stayed together, and then Junior went to my house, to my parents' house.
I was the first one, right? And the
Yeah,
only one.
I never brought no one there. I never date no
Yeah.
one else.
And I tried my best not to go, but he went to
Junior
hunt me at home.
came to my mom's birthday. So my house
Oh,
was
boy.
filled with my aunts, uncles, cousins, godmother,
Your brothers, everybody.
mother, dad, brothers, everybody. And and my brother said, "Come on, just bring Janine. I know you're dating because
He
I don't.
knew.
I,
No,
I
your
never
brother
told
was
my
like-
family.
Your brother was. I was always
Yeah.
like calling him brother-in-law. Always.
Yeah,
Hey, cunhado. Hey, cunhado. He knew I liked you.
I know.
He knew that.
So then I brought Junior, and everybody loved him.
And I was embarrassed.
And that was the
Shy.
cherry on the top of the cake because
Right.
everybody liked him. And I was like, oh, life's so good. Everybody
Right.
loves
Everybody was
Junior.
staring at me. I remember everyone was kind of. I could. You know when you see people in school, like you're new in school, right?
Yeah,
And then you see a lot of people like together,
talking about you.
like they were pointing at me at points, at times.
Yeah, I remember my godmother asked me to go upstairs.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, no, come. And then I said, okay. And then she's like, oh, no, he's so handsome. Yeah.
That's nice. I like
And
to hear
said,
that.
I know. I was like, I know.
And then I become very friends with your father, and it was very easy to be around your family. It still is
Yeah.
to this day.
Yeah.
And then we started to dating. Yeah,
And that was it. That's like
and everything was fine until
we so we became life partners as well. And so that changed the way we dance, you think,
I think completely
for the better.
for sure, because then I was like, I mean,
Everything was more real, right?
everything was
Yeah.
real. Everything was like we care for each other, so we enhanced the way we danced, and
And we already had the chemistry built upon dance, but then with the chemistry of the real,
right. It was still in process.
Relationship,
We were
yeah.
discovering a lot of stuff together.
yeah,
To this day, we do that, right?
yeah. But that time I was still very jealous of you. So whenever you had to dance with someone else, I would not like so much.
You used to
I was
be
very jealous.
you used to be jealous,
But you
not
know,
anymore. But
Yeah, not in.
Now
I
you're
mean,
good.
Not
I mean,
in a
come on.
long time, but because it was the beginning of the relationship, and also because I
now you like
had that
Take it.
No, I had the experience
right?
of you not being with me, and also you dated a lot of girls from our company,
Mm-hmm.
so it was like I saw all your other
Right.
girls there,
Mm-hmm.
which they were with another boyfriends as well, but
Yeah, I
it's
get
like,
it.
you know how you don't call your ex to go to your wedding? Same
Right.
thing. Like I was constantly seeing them.
Right.
You didn't see any of my ex because I didn't have any.
But I never. Just so you know, I never had a relationship with
But I
them.
know, but I know you kissed this girl and that girl,
Right. Right. And
It's-
back
it's a
then we were
little-
like younger, so it's like we care a lot about those things.
Yeah, it's I wasn't confident enough, I
Right,
think.
right.
Now I am.
Now you know who you are,
Not only who I am, but who we are.
who we are,
Yeah.
and then
So
we dated for how long?
we dated on like officially dating. It was from October up into June, because then
Right.
June you came to America
That's
and
when-
I stayed in Brazil.
That's when we started our long distance relationship.
Long distance relationship, which is something we're going to talk about in a different time because that's when we left Brazil to pursue
A
our
career.
careers.
Oh, we have to really go after what we dreamed of as
Yeah.
professionals because, yeah, it's a long
We
story.
tried to come together. I can just say that.
Yeah.
We tried to come together, and it was for the New York International Ballet Competition.
New York,
And we
IBC.
did the. I was actually taking
The
care of our
applications and everything.
applications. Yeah.
No, I remember sitting with my younger brother, and he's like, Anna, Junior, there's this competition in New York. You guys should go. I want to go.
Yeah.
How about that, Anna? He calls you Aninha. How about that, Aninha? And you were like,
Yeah. Let's
oh,
go.
let's go. And I was like, guys,
Yeah.
easy. And he was like, no, we have to go because now we're young now. Now is
Yeah,
the
because
time.
I
And
feel like we couldn't go grow. We couldn't grow where we were. We would like,
that was,
you know what
yeah,
I mean? There was nothing else to do in the company. We were already doing principal roles. Like there was nothing to looking forward to.
right.
So then at
yeah.
that point of our careers, we wanted to always reach for something higher,
Something
right?
bigger. Yes, you're right.
And that was then he mentioned that competition, and
Yeah.
we said yes, let's try, let's see what happens. But then so they chose Junior and his brother, and I wasn't chosen, and I cried so much. And
I
then Junior
remember that. I
said,
said, like, I'm not going.
I'm not going. I say, are you crazy? You are going, and I'm gonna meet you at some point. Just go.
At some point in my head, I was like, oh, I'm not going, and that's it. But then you were like, so like, I was like, whoa.
Come on, this was a huge opportunity
Right.
to
Any dancer.
live
Any
as a
dancer.
ballet dancer. Yes, I mean, if the competition still happened this day, it was still
Right.
being a huge opportunity.
But
They
you know
have
what?
different competitions.
I never wanted, and I never thought of moving to America. I never wanted. That was something that I
That
never.
happened.
I never thought of like, oh, one day I'm going to America just to feel how it is to live there or anything like that. I
Right.
never wanted to live in America.
But do you want to live someone else?
Somewhere
Somewhere
else?
else?
In the back of my mind, I see it like a very clear that I always want the next in life. I'm always searching for more and more. So that wasn't a specific place. That's the
Right.
thing. Now
But
I
for
learned
me
that I need to be
either.
more specific about what I want. But back then, I just have the urge and the need of always looking forward to the next, like we do now.
Well, I also didn't actually. Funny story. When I was young, I always told my mom that I'm gonna
Maybe you're
be
young.
no.
Younger.
When I was a kid,
Okay.
and this is actually a cute story. My mom was dropping off of my first ballet school,
Right.
and I had bad grades.
Okay.
Like for the first time, it was like less than the how do you say
Average?
scores
Okay.
that I used to get.
Right.
And my dad was always really
Yeah.
serious about school, and he's like, you can do your dance and whatever you want to do, but your job to me is to bring good grades, good scores. And for the first time, I wasn't so young, maybe I was like 14. For the first time, I was under the average, my average, not it wasn't that bad at all.
Right.
But for me, he put his,
Yeah.
his levels, and he's like, I'm gonna take you out of ballet. And I used to do tap, ballet, jazz, contemporary. I'm gonna take you out of all your dance, contemporary, tap, ballet. When he said ballet, I like, no. Take me out of tap, take me out of contemporary, take me out of anything, not ballet, and crying, right?
Oh wow.
So then I think he felt bad. And they say, okay, just show me better grades next time, and we'll see. I'll think about it. So that day I had dance, and then my mom dropped me off, and she was also like, putting,
Yeah.
yeah. And I closed the car door and I was walking and then I come back. That the way she says is so funny. I don't remember this, but she
Yeah.
remembers. I was about to enter the school and then I come back to the car door
car.
and I say, just so you know, I'm gonna be a ballerina. I am gonna dance in Europe, and I don't need to be good at math to do that. And then I laughed,
Nice. Good that you said that.
and I laughed. with a
How was
straight
her
face.
reaction?
My mom, I don't remember, but she said it was so hard for her to hold her laugh.
Yeah. She couldn't believe that.
Because it was like, "Pa, pa, 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 pa," and I can totally see this.
Wow.
But
You see?
she couldn't believe it. And also because I was so,
No, just we're gonna talk about that later on, but
Yeah.
like how difficult it was to prove to your parents that you could
right.
leave home to pursue. Yeah.
Not leave home, but that I could be a professional dancer
you-
and leave
And quit
as a
college.
professional dancer. Yeah, quit college was a consequence because that was the time for me to leave. But they didn't believe I could have a career
Right.
as a ballerina. That could be something that I could live off
Mm-hmm.
for, of.
Lived off.
Yeah, that could be a profession.
Right.
And they were right, because in Brazil, certainly couldn't. Because I remember big ballerinas there. I remember Lina Lapertosa from our state. She was a doctor
And a
and a
ballerina.
ballerina.
Yeah,
And a
it's-
beautiful ballerina. So how can you have two careers extremely
Difficult.
dedicate
Yeah.
and difficult careers? Because she had to make a living, because she couldn't leave just by
Oh,
dance.
the things
So-
we hear as
Yeah.
from people like asking the most common questions we get that I've always got in Brazil, in America not so much.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, here I never hear that, but like some people would say, but in Brazil all the time it would be like, "Oh, you dance? You're a dancer? Oh, nice. Well, where'd you dance?" And then I would say, "Oh, I dance in the company, this and that." "Oh, nice. But what do you do for a living?"
Right.
Like there's always the question, "What do you do for a living?" Like,
But there, yeah,
It's
that
tough.
was really almost impossible.
it's impossible.
And that's another thing. I think if we stayed in Brazil, maybe we wouldn't.
Hmm. Maybe we're not together. We're not going
Maybe
to be
because
together.
life would be super hard.
Right.
We wouldn't make enough money to even get married. I don't think.
Wow.
Anyways, we
Yeah.
never know. But so this was just to answer that. I never actually thought about coming to America either.
Hmm.
I came after you, but I was certain that I would leave Brazil to pursue my
Right.
career.
Right.
And in my head, it would be Europe, which I end up going anyways. But I didn't stay. But yeah, so I always knew that I had to leave.
Hmm. Yeah, I had that feeling, I think, too. It was, I remember being at home, watch through the window of my bedroom and see all the buildings and everything and imagine what is happening there? Like, what's
After
going on
that?
there? Like, what's after or I'm always looking forward. I always have that feeling of, like here we have the New York City skyline. I'm always looking and trying to imagine what's going on there, what shows are now,
Right.
all of that thing,
I see.
those things. So yeah. Anyways,
So this was a huge opportunity, and you could not come to America.
I could not miss that opportunity. Yeah.
And
And I
that's-
decided to go after my dreams.
And that's how I
In a different
pushed
country.
you. And I
Yeah.
said we figure out later.
Right.
And we're gonna talk about that later in a
Yes.
different episode.
So if you guys like this podcast, make sure you subscribe to our channel and leave us a thumbs up. All right. Leave us a review.
And a good rate, like 5 stars.
Yeah,
on
leave us all the
on
best.
the podcast
So
platforms.
more people can hear our podcast and
listen to it.
listen to it. That's correct.
Yes.
And we'll see you guys next time.
We see you next time, and
Keep on dancing.
Keep on dancing. See you next time.
Bye, guys.